Oh, yeah, welcome to the No State Project. I'm your host, Mark Stevens. It is January 29, 2011, coming to you live, of course, from the Fortified Compound here in Phoenix, Arizona. Glad to be back, the home studio. With me, of course, JT.
Hey, Mark, great to be here.
Yeah, we got a lot going on today, of course. I'll tell you in advance, we got a whole ton of stuff. Not going to get to it all, I'm sure. That's just the way it goes. But we may be going to 3 hours real soon here. So actually, we might actually, when we prepare a show and have a bunch of topics, we'll be able to get to that. But
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we had it was a big week this week. So we want to get to everything. And I want to thank Ian from Free Talk Live and here on LRN.FM, which you're listening to. And you can listen also at my website, markstevens.net. That's M-A-R-C, Stevens with a V. You can call us, the number 218-632-9399. That's 218-632-9399. And you can also Skype me during the show, but until I can get that stupid notification done, I'm going to ask everyone to hold off. If you're going to Skype me during the show, do it during a break. But again, the number you want to reach us here, 218-632-9399, and my Skype username, Frank Rizzo 3. That's Frank Rizzo with the number 3. So we want to get right to this. So this is the first time taking calls from the home studio. So if you've gone to freekeen.com, it's gone a lot over the internet. It was somebody had posted on my forum that Pete with Liberty on Tour was arrested for not wearing a hat. You believe this, Jay? I know you just heard this, JT. And
just finishing watching the video now. It's disgusting. Yeah,
it is. And we have him on the line. He's been waiting patiently, so let's get him up here. Pete, welcome to the No State Project. Pete, do we have Pete? Okay. Well, let me mute that one. Okay, maybe a little bit of a bug. First time. Okay, we have Pete from Liberty on Tour, live on the No State Project. Welcome, Pete.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, we did it. We need another congratulations out to Ian Free Talk Live.
Welcome, Pete.
Thanks. Good to be with you, JJ and Mark.
Yeah, you've been the last time you were on the show. We did a show out in Porkfest. It was in the middle of the summer, but this video that's been going around, you were arrested for not wearing a hat on Monday in Keene.
No, for wearing a hat. For wearing a hat. For wearing a hat,
yeah.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Well, for those who aren't familiar with the video, just give us a brief description of what happened.
Sure. This past Monday, I accompanied a lot of the liberty-oriented activists here in town in the Keene area, southern New Hampshire, and to Keene Court to support some friends who were appearing that day. And I walked in the courtroom, and as I was sitting down, a bailiff said, "Hey, you have to move your hat or something." And I just commented that my head was cold, and I said, "Why do I have to do that?" And he said, "That's the policy." And I said, "Well, I didn't sign that. I didn't agree to that policy. I never signed anything." And then, almost immediately, a cop who had been sitting nearby, a Keene police officer, just grabbed me, and he said, "You're out of here." And he threw me to the ground and out of my chair. And then right away, another officer came up, and they proceeded to handcuff me. They didn't give me a chance to even comply with their commands, let alone leave the courtroom. So, as I explained to them, I was cold, and that was the reason I had my hat on, and I wasn't causing a disturbance or anything, and I went limp. They carried me out, carried me kind of roughly. They carried me down the stairs to a cruiser, brought me to the Cheshire County jail, where I didn't identify initially, so they had me in booking for a day, and then they moved me to segregation, and I didn't eat for like 3.5 days, but then I eventually processed, thought I could have a bigger impact on the outside, and in the meantime, on Tuesday, the day after I was arrested, my friend Ademo, Adam Freeman, who's he's my colleague and kind of partner with a lot of the projects we do, libertyontour.com, copblock.org, and with Motorhome Diaries before that, and he had an outburst. I was trying to do an arraignment via video, and I was explaining to the judge, Judge Burke in Keene, that I, rather than say I'm guilty or not guilty, I hoped to get an apology from the bailiff and explain that day that I was the victim, not the aggressor. And like I told the correction officers throughout the week, they're keeping me in a cage only exacerbated the harm that was done to me. But Ademo, justifiably so, was angry at what was going on and spoke his mind to Burke, and he was actually making his way out of the courtroom, and he made a comment to Judge Burke, and then Burke had him detained, and he later Burke cut short the arraignment because I essentially was trying to have a conversation with him, and then he had Ademo come back in the courtroom, and Ademo said, I apologize if I offended you, and Burke proceeded to sentence him to 60 days in jail, which is where he is now at. So it's been awesome to see the community's been really supportive, and we're working to get Ademo freed and get some accountability for, actions that if they were done by anybody else, people would rightly say that, you guys have been aggressed upon.
Well, it's obvious in the video. I mean, it's something pretty stupid that not taking a hat off that they would arrest you. I mean, they have a maxim of law that you can't do indirectly what you cannot do directly, so they would be laughed at if they try to pass a law giving you jail time, making it a crime not to take your hat off. But here with this contempt of court and whatnot, or this policy and trying to get around it indirectly, what it also strikes me as, I know it's just platitudes, slogans, public relations. New Hampshire is the live free or die state.
Right.
And yet, you've got this situation where you go to jail, you're arrested, you're handcuffed and dragged out of court for not taking a hat off.
Right. Yeah, it was all pretty ridiculous. They actually charged me with resisting and disorderly. They said I created a breach of the peace, and then by going limp, I resisted. So those are charges that I think are easily going to be thrown out if they're not going to be, we're going to work as hard as we can. I'll just say that. And I think we have, there's folks that are investigating like precedent, folks investigating different avenues we can take. We've been brainstorming with a lot of activists here on the ground, and folks nationwide that have been calling in support and sending letters in, and letting it be known that, this sort of action, this sort of rights violation, for arbitrary dictates is unacceptable.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever I can do to help there. I mean, obviously, a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim. I mean, you've got video of it that you weren't causing a disturbance. If anybody was causing a disturbance, it was the cop who or whoever that one who initially started.
The cop that committed felony assault. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones. They're the ones who committed disturbance. From what I see in the video, you were just sitting there minding your own business until they approached you.
Yeah, and I actually, I'm a peaceful person. I had my hands inside my hoodie, so I was not being aggressive by any means. And, when he attempted to reach for my hat, I pulled my head back and I said, "Hey, that's my property," and try to use logic and reason to, say, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong." But they weren't having any of it for some reason. And minutes after I was taken out of the court for wearing a hat, a friend snapped a picture of a Keene PD officer with a stocking hat on in the courtroom, and he wasn't arrested and he wasn't thrown out.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, he had the right color. He had the right color costume on, and he bowed before the right people, I guess.
You're right. That's it.
Well, as far as what's going on with Ademo, has anybody? I don't know how he views things. I know some people in Keene and Upper New Hampshire, they don't want to be bailed out. They don't want a habeas corpus. They don't want anything like that. They want to go to the limit and show just how evil these people are. I mean, is that Does Ademo want a habeas corpus filed on his behalf?
Well, I mean, Ademo, he's probably like the best activist I know, and he's doing what he can. They have him on a contempt of court charge, so I guess that limits some of the legal maneuvering that could be done. But I don't proclaim to be an expert in that area at all. But there are people that are investigating that. But they put him in after he was in booking. They put him in lockdown.
Well, Pete, we'll be back in just a moment. Just stay with us. My name is Mark Stevens. Right. This is the No State Project here on Liberty News, LRN.FM. You can also listen to my website, markstevens.net. Don't go away. We'll be back more with Pete with Liberty on Tour in just a moment.